Most people talk about the YouTube algorithm as if it's a single entity, and it's not. There's actually a suite of algorithms. The two most important ones are the search algorithm and the suggest algorithm. The search algorithm is the algorithm that surfaces your video based upon what people are searching for on the YouTube platform. The suggest algorithm is the algorithm that suggests other videos to people once they're watching one of your videos on the platform. So initially, it's very important to concentrate on search because the algorithms won't yet have been trained and won't know about your content and won't easily be able to find an audience for you. So we must concentrate on search first. Later on, the suggest part of the algorithms become more important, and maybe we can do a session on that at another time. So let me just show you what that looks like in analytics, and you can see the difference between a new channel and an established channel. So this is a new channel that I set up only about a month ago, and this is a channel excuse me, that I've had since 2016, I think, and this one's getting, it's probably had 100 views or so in total. This one probably gets 1 million views a month, something like that. So 1 million views a week. So this is a big channel. This is a small channel. And because this channel's new, can you see the majority of the traffic, majority of the visitors is coming from search? 61% of the people that are watching the videos on this new channel are coming from search. By contrast, 70% of the people that are watching the videos on the established channel are coming from suggested videos. So YouTube knows more about the viewers of this channel and can therefore recommend my videos to them through the suggested section. Search really is a very small proportion of the traffic to the site. Only 2.2% of the people that are watching those videos are finding them in search. So as your channel grows, the search component of the algorithm suite becomes less important, but I'm guessing that most people who are watching this are probably fairly new to their YouTube journey. So we're going to take a deep dive into how to get found in YouTube search. And excuse me, the title is key to that. By the way, if you want to check your analytics to see where your traffic's coming from, then go to the tab called Reach in Analytics, and you'll see these little graphs here. Okay, so to position the title in the hierarchy of what's important to get found in search, let's have a look at the next diagram. And it really is ever so simple. This is the hierarchy. Right at the very top of the hierarchy, the most important thing about getting found in the YouTube algorithm for a new channel is the title, by a long, long way, and not just the title, a certain part of the title, which I'm going to explain in a moment. Next is the description. Some people also say, and I tend to agree with them, that putting captions on the video will help. So description and captions, perhaps. Some people would say that what's in your thumbnail is important, and that's also true, but to a far lesser extent than the title. Tags at the bottom, this is really strange, isn't it? Because tags are the least important thing about being found by the search part of the algorithm suite. Yet, if you watch YouTube and if you talk to many people, they still say that tags are the most important thing. Utter nonsense, honestly. Title is the most important thing. So let's go on to the next slide. And I just want to talk to you about titles, about what the purpose of a title is. Purpose of the title is to get found, to appeal to the algorithm so that you get maximum reach. So if you've got a bad title, then your initial reach figures are going to be very low and no one is going to see your videos. But also, it's got to appeal to human beings as well, because if people see your title and don't click on it, then there was no point being found. There's no point having a title which is really well optimized for the algorithm and gets found, but nobody clicks on it. So we've got two sort of conflicting things here. We've got to appeal to the search algorithm, but we've also got to appeal to humans. and we only have 100 characters to do both of those. So it's writing a title is a real art. It's a little bit like copywriting, but difference between writing a copy, writing general copy and writing titles is that it can be to a large extent data driven. And I'm going to show you some tips for doing that. One thing though to be really careful of is that changing your title will cause the algorithm to re-index the video. And that's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. It's a good thing because if a video is not doing very well, then you can go and change the title. But if a video is doing well, please don't touch it. I've got videos which for historical reasons somehow seem to be doing really well with pretty awful titles, to be honest. You know, I was young, you live and learn. But I'm not going to go and touch them because that means that it'll throw it back into the algorithm to re-index. And who knows, maybe the YouTube gods won't be so good to me next time. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it is broke, then yeah, go ahead and tweak it. And maybe some of the stuff we're going to talk about in a few moments might help you come up with a better title. Let's go and have a look at the anatomy of a good title. So this is what I would call a perfect structure for a title. We've got 100 characters, and right at the beginning of the title, we want to put the stuff in there that's going to appeal to the algorithm, because the algorithm will generally give more precedence to words on the left, towards the left of the title, than it does towards the end of the title. Filler words like the and, you know, inconsequential words don't matter that much, that they will filter those out. But the main keywords we want to put towards this end of the title if we can. Obviously, it's still going to make sense, but try and get them as far to the left as you can. Next bit is intrigue. So this appeals to the algorithm. The intrigue appeals to the people that see the title. This is where we try and get them to click on the title. And changing the intrigue part can have a big impact on your CTR, your click-through rate. And just a little tip here, recency can help. So as we'll see in a moment, I'm going to show you a suggested title. But let's go back to the start and look at the algorithmic part of it. How do we find out what keywords that we're going to put in to try and appeal to the search components of the algorithms? Well, you can do this by trial and error, but the tool that I like to use to do it is called TubeBuddy, and I'll show you why. TubeBuddy, there's my affiliate link at the bottom, by the way, if you want to use that, is the cheapest and also the best, I think, for this particular feature. If you go to TubeBuddy.com and then look at the Pro plan, if you've got less than 1,000 subscribers and you tick that on, it gives you half price. And I think for most people who are starting out, this is probably the best value one. So I'm going to go on my other screen and get the TubeBuddy system up, and I'll just show you how I use it. Yeah, there we go. I'm making sure I don't show you my bank account. Right, here we go. So this is the TubeBuddy Keyword Explorer, and you can type in here keywords that you want to explore and see whether or not they're good keywords. I've decided I'm going to do something around video editing software. So the first thing that I would do is type in, oh, that's the other one, that's Tips Tuesday, video editing software, video editing software. And it comes up with all sorts of suggestions and some suggestions down here, but let's just hit explore and see what happens. Okay, so it's come up with a number of different metrics. The first one is the search volume. The second one is the competition. And the last one is the optimization strength. And I'll go through them one by one and give you my take on them. So search volume is how many people are searching for this search term. So in classical economics, this would be the demand. So this is the demand for the number of the demand for videos on that topic. So lots of people are interested in video editing software, and that's a good thing. The competition is how many people or how many videos are competing against this keyword. So this is actually saying that we've got a lot of search volume, but there's a lot of videos which are already about video editing software. So it's probably going to be quite hard to rank for video editing software. I'm going to say something which sounds a bit arrogant now, but I don't mean it to be arrogant because you'll be in the same position. I don't care too much about competition because I'm used to winning. And you will be too once you learn to optimize your videos. I generally only go for very high search volume keywords, and I assume that I can beat the competition because there's no point really in coming first in a race to win the position for videos that nobody's searching for and therefore no one's interested in watching. So I always like to get for very high search volume. When you're first starting out, maybe you'd want to balance this up a little bit and look for arrows where there's more towards the yellow. This optimization strength, by the way, at the bottom is basically how good TubeBuddy thinks the competition is at optimizing the videos that are out there. And it's saying that actually, although there's a lot of competition, the competition isn't doing a very good job of optimization. And I'm not surprised because most people just don't understand this stuff. So this is not a bad keyword to go for. I think when I was doing it before, best video editing software probably did well as well. Let's just have a look. Can't remember. It's a while since I did it. Yeah, this is massive search volume. Yeah, so this is okay. This one at the top, by the way, fair. It just tries to combine all of these into one metric. But I say generally, I look at this one more than anything else and don't care too much about the rest of them. So I'm going to go, I think it was best video editing software I went for in the end. So let's just have a look, go back to the presentation. Okay. Yeah. So here's the title that I came up with if we were going to target best video editing software. So the best video editing software, this is for the algorithm. Intrigue, you've never heard of. So this, people will be interested to watch the video because they probably think they've heard of most of the video editors. And if I put that in there, it implies that what I'm going to be talking about is something which is new information for them. And just a tip, I often find that putting brackets or putting things in brackets helps intrigue. I think people do a sort of mental take and they look at the stuff in the brackets and they take notice of it more than if it wasn't in brackets. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. Recency. I've often found that putting the year at the end of the video helps because it makes people think that the video is more recent. Now, of course, that means that next year I'm going to have to update all the titles. However, if I've got a reasonable level of subscription with TubeBuddy, then updating the titles, it can be done automatically. It does have the risk of re-indexing, but often I've found that updating the year at the end of a title actually helps because it re-indexes and gives it a more relevant score. Anyway, so that would be my one suggestion for a title around video editing software. Appeal to the algorithm, generate some intrigue and demonstrate that the video is fairly recent. But we've got to test these things. We have to test. And I say this a lot, that what you think is a good title and what I think is a good title or a thumbnail or anything else, or even a video, doesn't matter. YouTube is all about numbers and it's what appeals to the people that are watching your video or potentially watching a video. I just want to give you quite a drastic example of why it's important to test. Here's a couple of titles from my nursery rhyme channel. First title was Humpty Dumpty Nursery Rhymes by Huggy Bobo. So I thought, well, maybe it would stand out more and get better results if I was to stick a balloon at the front of the title, because it's a kids channel and kids like balloons. It's not unreasonable. I actually think it looks nicer with a balloon than without a balloon. But I used TubeBuddy's A/B testing to test the one with the balloon and the one without the balloon, and the results were, well, very clear and quite surprising to me. Look at this. By the one without the balloon outperformed the one with the balloon by 120%. So just by putting a balloon in the title, it made a huge difference to the performance of the video. You'd never have known that, would you? In fact, to me, it seems counterintuitive, because a nice little balloon at the beginning looks pretty. You'd have thought it'd be more eye-catching. You'd have thought the click-through rate would have gone up and it would have been better. But as we can see here, click-through rate went down drastically. So always test. If you want to use TubeBuddy to test, then I think you need the Legend license, which is more expensive. But TubeBuddy is the only solution out there that will allow you to do A/B testing to statistical significance. And for that reason alone, I use the more expensive license for TubeBuddy. But again, you can't do A/B testing until you've got a reasonable amount of traffic. So to start with, don't bother getting the expensive license, just get the cheap one, do the keyword research, and then you can upgrade later on. You can manually go and look at the click-through rate in your analytics before you before you go and invest more money in a higher TubeBuddy license. But to me, I kind of live by it. Every time I put a video up now, I will put a couple of titles. I'll probably put a couple of thumbnails on there and just A/B test them, let the numbers do the talking. So finally, to finish up, I'm just going to show you some examples of titles that have worked well for me, and maybe my ideas of perhaps why they worked well. This is from my Love Advice channel. Get your ex back. This is a very popular keyword, so stick that at the beginning. Don't reply to their text. Clear instruction in capitals gets intrigue. And I found actually that telling people not to do things got better results than telling them to do things sometimes. So don't reply to their text in brackets until you've watched this. And this happens to be a shorts video, so I stuck shorts at the end. Get your ex back. Again, these are the keywords. Stop doing this, telling them not to do stuff, and in brackets, a little bit more intrigue. Get your ex back. Let's just be friends. Warning. People really don't like to lose things. In fact, psychologists say that people have a bigger aversion to emotional reaction, aversion to losing things than they do to gaining things. So you're much more likely to get people to click on stuff to avoid pain than to seek pleasure. So there's a warning in there. Get your ex back. Do not send roses. Well, again, I'm telling people not to do things, and perhaps it's counterintuitive, because a lot of people think that if they get dumped, first thing you should do is send them some roses. I beg to differ. Another one here, no contact rule, dark secrets. Ooh, dark secrets, got to find out what that is. To make your ex chase you. Now, if someone has been dumped, then a dark secret to change the balance of power so that their ex is chasing them could be something they'd want to watch. Valentine's Day lockdown ideas. I did keyword research. It wasn't this year, it was last year, around Valentine's Day and lockdown. So that seemed to work quite well. And you can see I've got a heart at the beginning here. I'll be honest, I haven't A/B tested those. I should perhaps go and do that now. But as it's a Love Advice channel, I thought that a heart might look nice. But yeah, I should A/B test that. And I probably will do, having reminded myself, done this video. Anyway, that's it. So titles appeal to the algorithm, appeal to the viewers, and test. And if a video is doing well with a bad title, don't touch it in case it gets dropped. If the video is not doing well, then go in and tweak the titles. Might end up getting far better results than you thought. Okay, thank you very much for your time. Have a great day, and I'll think of something to say next week. Bye for now.